Good morning, GlobeHoppers. It is another wonderful day here in Ireland, and last night we spent the night in Killarney. And the reason we camped there for the night was because today we're going to head out in our rent-a-car and do the Ring of Kerry, which is Ireland's most popular loop driving, scenic driving tour. Now, if you saw yesterday's video, you know we did the Dingle Peninsula loop, and that was absolutely beautiful. I don't know that's going to be one tough act to follow, but they say this one is just as nice, if not better. It's much bigger. It's 3 times as big, this one, so they suggest you do it over 2 days. If you auto drive from the beginning all the way around the loop, it's a 3.5-hour drive if you don't stop anywhere. But obviously there are dozens and dozens of stops along the way, and we are going to make a few of them, probably not all of them today. One thing we recommend, which we kind of screwed up, is don't do both loops back to back. You're just going to spend 2 whole days in the car driving around, and that'll get to be a little painful, maybe, I guess, cramped up in the car. One thing I can mention is that the roads around here are extremely narrow. Like, a lot of times you have to stop and pull over. Did you see that? A lady just drove by on a bike like this, like she didn't want to go. I'm not even pointing the camera in that direction, but whatever. Where was I? Oh yeah, the roads, they're quite narrow in some places, so renting a small car is a definite advantage here. Like I said, a lot of times you have to stop and wait in one area for the cars to go by because there's not enough room for 2 cars and stuff like that. Otherwise, the driving's been pretty easy around here. The roads are nice, and it's no traffic, except for in like the little villages get a little congested from time to time. So now we're at our first stop on the loop of Kerry, the Ring of Kerry, that's what it's called. And this is the Muckross Abbey we're looking for. There's supposed to be a big manor in here, and we're gonna try to find our way in. We'll catch up with you guys in a minute. I think we might be a little lost.
No, there's a sign right there.
Here we go, let's see. Alright, so the house is 500 that way and the abbey is 600 that way. So both Muckross Abbey, which is behind us here, and the Muckross house, which is about 1 kilometer away down this road here, are both located inside the Killarney National Park, which is what we're walking through now. And it's actually real peaceful and quiet. A couple guys just came up with a little noisy. We're letting them get ahead of us. But other than that, it's been real tranquil, beautiful scenery in here. It's very lush and green. Look at this thing. Oh. I believe Alyssa was just saying this dates back to the 18th century. Now, we're not going to go over and see the Muckross house. We've been in several 18th century houses like that already on this trip, and I think this one's a little expensive to get into, but we did want to come by and see the Abbey real quick and then head back out. That's one of the things about the Ring of Kerry. It's 127 kilometers long, so if you wanted to stop and see every single thing and do every single hike along the way, you should probably leave several days. Most people do it in 2 days. Since we were in the car all day yesterday doing that loop, we're going to do it in 1 day and just pick the highlights that we want to see. And I don't think we're going to do much hiking other than to and from the little sites that we want to see. But the Muckross Friary. It was originally built in 1612, but then it was burned down and reconstructed several times.
Okay.
But you can also confirm them, so you can maybe the special
Sheep, animals.
It's actually more normal one, but it's more like that.
Yeah, that's 500.
Oh, here go these short Irish people again. Oy. I really do love walking around these kind of castles and places like this. I truly am meant to live in a castle, I'm sure. You want to go up or down? I think.
We can go up.
Yeah, let's try.
Maybe we can go all the way up there.
You can?
Maybe we can.
Boy, oh boy, I'm excited. Oh, I love it. So there are a lot of hikes here in the Killarney National Park, and even along this loop, and a lot of them are 2-3 hours long. And if you're going to be here for a while, if you live in this area, it's probably got some great hiking because it's absolutely stunning, the scenery here. Very green and lush. However, for us, you know, we do have a little time restraints here trying to finish this loop. And after doing a loop yesterday, we didn't want to stretch this one out into more days in the car. But also, the other problem is, you know, it just... the weather changes so much here. Finding a 3-hour window to go do a hike in the mountains is a little hard to find around here because it might be dry now, but I guarantee you we're gonna get wet several times today on this loop. It's just how it's been since we've been here. Even the best of days, it still rained a little bit, you know? So keep that in mind. Bring your raincoats, waterproof shoes, hiking poles, whatever you're gonna need if you plan on being out and getting wet, because it will happen to you here, especially along the coast like this. So this first stop at Killarney National Park was free. We didn't have to pay for parking, and the abbey that we just explored was free. However, like I did say, if you want to go in the house, the Muckross house, that is €8 per person. So like I said, we're gonna skip that because we've been in several of these period houses already. But these grounds are huge. We could probably spend the whole day walking around this national park. You know, we love national parks, so we could definitely spend more time here. However, we're trying to finish some of this loop off today. So we're gonna head on to our next place now, which I believe is a waterfall. Before that, we'll show you our car real quick when we get there. So this is our little whip for the week, guys. This is a Ford Puma 6-speed manual transmission. It's been great on gas and a lot of fun to drive. And again, because it's so small, we've been able to manage these roads pretty well. Cute little ride. Got a little get up and go. I like it. Have you named it yet? No. Oh, she hasn't given this one a nickname like she usually does. All right, we are off to a waterfall. See you soon. With all this moss on the rocks, Alyssa must be in heaven here. She loves that. Me personally, I'm leprechaun hunting. This looks like the perfect place to hunt leprechauns. So this is the Torc Waterfalls, and you park right off the street. Once again, free parking, no admission, and it's a 200-meter walk up this trail to find the waterfall. So let's do it. Alyssa and I did several nursing assignments in outside of Seattle, Washington, in a little town called Issaquah. And if you guys know anything about Seattle, it rains a lot there. It's known for it, and it kind of reminds us of the same climate here in Ireland, where it's just constantly raining, cool and damp. And one thing that is a benefit of that terrible weather is everything is green and lush and beautiful. And it reminds us a lot of our assignment there in Issaquah. We used to love to go hiking there just for that reason, because everything was green and so beautiful there. And this is so similar here. So the hike from the car to the waterfall only took about 5 minutes. That was a short one. But then we saw a trail going up the side of the mountain, and we just had to explore. So we just climbed about 10 minutes up, and we're starting to hear more water running over here. So I think we might be getting to the end of this little trail, hopefully. Maybe we'll get some big views. It was quite a steep climb. It took us, like I said, about 15 minutes, I guess. Broke a little sweat here, huh? So that little 15-minute detour that we took up the hill there turned into a 45-minute climb over a mountain. We are exhausted now, sweating. We weren't expecting that. We didn't bring a drink with us or nothing, so that caught us off guard. It was beautiful though, and peaceful. So now I think we're almost back to the beginning where we could find our car, I hope. Oh, what was that thing? Oh, whatever he is, I'll never see him. He scuttled into there. Horse-drawn carriage and a daddy-drawn carriage.
Short straw here, lads.
I wonder if Gandalf's home. That reminds me of little cottages in the forest. So we just found this little cutoff here on the side of the road, and there's a little path, so we couldn't resist seeing where it goes. And this is why there is no way in hell we're gonna finish this whole loop in one day. We're just gonna see the highlights and see what we want to see. Oh, look at this. This is just nature. True fans of the channel will know Alyssa and I just love being outdoors in nature, and Ireland has just so much of it to offer. The only problem is I wish summer lasted longer here. Look at this. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this shot here. There are just so many scenic, beautiful places here. I mean, this is just picturesque. We can make a whole calendar just of our Ireland trip, probably. Let us know in the comments below if you'd like to get a calendar from Ireland. We'll give you the best beautiful shots, one per month. I'm getting close to catching me a leprechaun. I found one across the street now. So this is Ladies View, it's called, and it got its name because Queen Victoria visited here with the ladies in waiting, and they loved this view so much that they named it after them. So we're gonna try to find a path down here.
It's right there.
All right, she found it, I guess. Alright guys, Alyssa was smart. She went over there to get a coffee at that cafe back there, and I trudged through the swamp and got my feet wet, but look at this. I think it was worth it. Even with the rain, this view is just worth climbing out here for, right? So we made it to this little town called Kenmore, which is almost halfway around the loop, and we are going to stop here and try to find some food, I hope. We enjoyed a nice little lunch in there, but I don't think we're going to walk around this town too much. It's starting to really come down out here, and we're both a little chilled to the bones. This damp, wet weather is just really yucky. So we're going to hop in the car, turn the heat on, and we're going to head up to the Cliffs of Kerry next. It's about an hour and a half from here, and it's off of the loop a little bit, but we figure hopefully if the rain breaks we'll get some views from there. If not, we're just gonna keep riding through towns wet like this. That was one hell of a long ride to get down here to the cliffs, and a lot of it was rainy. When we went through the pass, we couldn't see any views whatsoever. It was just all clouded in. And the driving here was a very narrow road, so if anybody got in front of you was going slow, you were just stuck. There was nothing you could do. We went through the one small town, and a bus was trying to turn and had the whole town backed up in traffic. So yeah, this took us a lot longer than we thought to get here. Look at these guys. That is one long neck sheep right there. But anyway, like I was saying, we made it, we're here, and now we're gonna hike on up here and see the Cliffs of Kerry before we start the journey back. Now this is actually the halfway point of the loop, so it's been a long day. What time is it now? About 3:30? Yeah, it's about 3:30 now. We started out about 10, so we've been looping for about 5.5 hours, and we still got a long ride back. So we're gonna head up here, check out the cliffs. Let's see what we get into. Well, these aren't real beehives, and those ain't real birds on the roof.
These are examples of the beehives found at
Well, if you guys want to see the real thing, check out yesterday's video. We saw the real things there. Between the wind and the rain, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the drone up here though, but we should be able to get you guys some good views anyway. Start from the right, it says. Not much to say about this other than wow, it's beautiful.
I think that I was worried that the fog would take away from the wow factor, but I'm impressed.
I tell you what, I think Ireland's got to start doing a little bit more bragging about its landscape, because it's really got some amazing stuff, and I don't hear enough about it on Instagram and places like that. They gotta start upping their bragging game. This is just spectacular, guys. Weather or no weather, this is beautiful. In a way, I think the clouds in the mist and the wind blowing adds a little to the experience. It's pretty interesting here. It's amazing. Look at this. So we hiked from all the way down there by that building, the white building. That's where we parked. All the way up to that peak over there. And then you come around this way. All the way up here to the tallest peak. And it is just fabulous, guys. A bit out of the way, but definitely worth the drive to get. Right over where we parked, there was a guy selling some fresh home-baked breads and stuff like that, so we're gonna stop and grab a snack for the ride back. But we were thinking about it just now. I was thinking about it, and compared to the Cliffs of Moher, I think these are more impressive. I like these better with the way the weather was affecting it, I guess. I don't know, it's just much more beautiful here, less crowded. A little bit harder to get to, that's for sure, but oh boy, I think these are even better than the Cliffs of Moher. What'd you think?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's better.
She agrees. You hear that?
I like it because there's no tour buses. I don't know. I get deterred by the buses.
Yep. Definitely less crowded and harder to get to, which makes it even better. But the actual view itself was just as, I think, more impressive than the Cliffs of Moher was. This is more dramatic here, and I like this one better. So if you are going to do the Ring of Kerry, this is a little side trip you have to take, but it's definitely worth it. Come on down and do this. And if you'd like to see the Cliffs of Ireland, these guys should be the champs, not the Cliffs of Moher. So, 2 thumbs up for us. Now let's go get some bread for our belly. Good morning, guys. So as you can see, it is the next day out today, and well, let me get you guys caught up. After we left the Ring of Kerry, the Cliffs of Kerry yesterday, the rain came in. So every place we stopped on the second half of the loop, whether it was a beach or an overlook or a lookout point, there was nothing but fog. We couldn't see anything. The beaches were raining. So we just ended up driving straight on back through. And that's all right. I mean, we did get to see a bunch of stuff on the first half of the loop, which is pretty cool. And the drive was still nice. So let me give you a little comparison of the 2 loops that we did, because there's 2 popular loops here. The first day we did the Dingle Peninsula loop, and we loved that one. Every place we stopped was right off the road. It was quick stops. You got to see a whole bunch of stuff. The views were amazing. The second one, the Ring of Kerry, was so much longer. I mean, this loop was 127 kilometers, which compared to the 30 of the other loop, made a big difference. We were driving through fields forever. The roads were real narrow in some spots. Little pro tip is, if you do the Ring of Kerry, do it clockwise, because the buses do it counterclockwise. And if you do it counterclockwise, you'll get caught behind the buses, and that is a nightmare. Going through some of the small towns when the buses were coming through, the town was just locked down and gridlocked. The buses couldn't fit, everybody was all in the traffic jam, so it was a mess. But other thing we noticed was on the Ring of Kerry, the stops weren't right off the road. Some of them you had to hike a ways, it took a while, and some of them were right there. But if you're gonna do the Ring of Kerry, they say you could do it in a day. No, you can't. You need at least 2, and if you're a hiker and really want to get out there and see the spots, you're gonna need 3 days to do that ring for sure. Definitely leave yourself plenty of time. We did it in 1 day, and we made it 1 day just because we got rained out the second half of it. But yeah, definitely leave yourself 2 or 3 days for that one. I think for both of us though, we agreed that the Dingle Loop, which is the less popular, less crowded one, was so much nicer. Better views, better attractions, more fun, just a much more mellow experience. So for us, thumbs up for the Dingle Loop Peninsula. Not that the Ring of Kerry was bad, it was really nice, but I think it's a 1 day adventure for sure. Do the Dingle Loop, that's what we say.